Hey, what's going on, everyone? Good morning. Good morning on this awesome, beautiful Friday. Today, I have the pleasure of filling in for Todd, who is in Scottsdale, Arizona, at an amazing event with EXP and Brent Gove. I wish I could be there, but someone's got to hold the fort down. I'm Daniel Betancourt with Team Betancourt of EXP Realty, and I have the pleasure today of speaking with Danny Torres. Danny Torres is on the show with us today. And today's episode is all about succeeding as a new agent, because new agents, 85% of new agents within the first 2 years, they leave the real estate industry sometimes with their tails between their legs because it didn't work out, and they go back to doing whatever they were doing before or something new. And so our special guest today, Danny Torres, it hasn't been in real estate that long, and he had a really great first year. He's in his second full year of real estate, and he's crushing it. So welcome to the show, Danny.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you having me here. How's it going, man?
Danny and Danny. So I've known Danny since our days at RE/MAX. Actually, I think he had just gotten his license, and he got started there, and we met at an office function. And he was always curious and asking questions on, what it takes to be successful in real estate. And you sold, in your first full year, you sold 20 homes, right?
Yes, I did. 20. Yep. My first full-time year last year. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 20 homes. And how much effort did it take from you to do that in your first full year?
Wow, man. I mean, it was definitely a lot of effort, starting off as part-time agent when I was at RE/MAX. I realized that real estate was not really a full-time job. I was working in the corporate world, and I didn't like the corporate, industry. I was there for 10 years, and I was kind of over it. And, I kind of topped out, and there wasn't really much growth or opportunity for me to grow there. So I've always wanted to do real estate for years, but I just kind of left it behind me until all of a sudden, my girlfriend was like 6 months pregnant, and I decided to tell her, hey, I think this is the move that I want to do. I enjoy, doing the real estate part-time. I see the opportunity. I think, give me a couple of years, and, I think we're going to be fine, even though she freaked out, but.
It's hard to do well with real estate as a part-time career. When I started in real estate, I started part-time, and I started during the bubble, 2004, 2005, which, some people, it's kind of a similar market to this, but not really. Like right now, people are really struggling to get buyers under contract. Back then, it wasn't, there was more inventory back then, and it was really an easy time to get into real estate because it seemed like, everybody wanted to buy real estate before prices soared out of control. But it was easy to get homes under contract, where now the inventory is low. So you have to know what you're doing a little bit more. So now in your second full year, you closed 20 in your first full year. And now in your second full year, you're already up to 17 pending and sold. And we're not even done with the first half of the year. So things are clicking for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I've been really, blessed, and surrounding myself with the right people. Like you said, I'm always curious. I'm always, asking questions, and always want to learn from, the top producers in the industry. And, surrounding yourself with those people really push me, and, they're really powerful mindset. And, every time I wake up, I always, I'm blessed, and, very humble, and, I just keep moving forward, and, try to find ways to grow and help people. I do believe that it's all about it's all about helping people out and see where we could, show them value, and really pretty much kind of sell yourself, not really, sound like a salesman.
Right.
You're really trying to help these people get where they need to be, whatever goal they need to reach. That's what we're here for. So
right. And I remember when you first started, you started out as a solo agent, and then we used to talk a little bit and exchange ideas. And then you left to EXP. You joined a large team here in Central Florida, and now you've started your own team. And what is that transition like? Because a lot of new agents, they are unsure of whether, one of the questions that they struggle with is, should I join a team or should I go solo? What kind of input do you have for someone who's struggling with that question and deciding what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I had, starting off, I was a single agent, and, I realized that, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was asking questions, but, I wasn't getting any leads or, getting in front of people, just kind of
support.
Yeah, there's really not much support. And, it was a struggle, but like, I never gave up. I saw some opportunity on the team, and I said, hey, I ain't got nothing to lose. I don't have really any deals under my belt right now. So why not go for it? So I took advantage of the opportunity, and right away, learning from, other top agents and, being around them and getting the support, it really, really got me to learn, study the market and get me in front of people. Like the more people you get in front of, the more opportunity and potential transactions that you can close.
Right. So sometimes as a single agent, brand new in the industry, you don't get many opportunities. So when you join a team and then you've got a team leader that's investing thousands of dollars on generating leads, you get more opportunities, you get more looks, you have more conversations with people, you become more comfortable talking real estate. So, and that experience just helps lead you to have better conversations, and the customers can sense that you're more experienced. If you've had 50 real estate conversations, even if you've closed 1 or 2 deals, but you've had, 100 conversations, you can speak confidently about real estate, and you're not, fumbling around with words, talking about real estate. So would you recommend new agents join a team when they first get started to kind of gain that experience and fast track?
Yes, absolutely. I do agree on that, just because, like you said, you're going to get in front of people. And if you're not out in the field meeting people, you're not going to really get too far in this business with the failure rate being, 85%. So getting in front of people, getting, contacts, getting more comfortable, failing too. You have to fail in order to succeed in this business. So don't be afraid of failure or objection. Just try to learn, from the leaders on the team and ask them questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Just tell them the situation you were running into with that person, and go back to your team leader, and they'll definitely help you out. And I've been really I've been learning so much and so fast. And real estate, the market shifts. We'll always be learning. So we continue to learn as we go. And when we struggle, that's when we come across, you
grow. Yeah, you grow from that. On our team, we do a daily huddle. So in our daily huddle is an opportunity for everyone on the team to share, what struggles they had the day before, because we do it every day. So they can share what struggles they experienced the day before. We can share successes that we had the day before. We can ask questions. So every morning it's kind of a learning experience, and everyone on the team learns from each other's experiences. Because if you're on the huddle with 3 or 4 or 5 other agents and they're struggling with something that you haven't experienced yet, you're getting that experience from just having that conversation, accountability, and support. A lot of new agents also struggle with where does the business come from? You get your license, and in licensing school they're teaching you essentially how to stay out of jail, right? How not to do illegal things, what not to say, but they don't teach you how to go out there and get closings. So a lot of new agents, they get their license and they're like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I remember when I first got my license and I became a full-time agent for the first time, I remember sitting at a desk thinking, when's my phone going to ring? I put an ad in the newspaper, and while I was part-time, the phone would ring while I was doing other things. So I was excited about it, and the phone would ring, and I'd take the lead. And then when I quit my job, then it seems like it takes forever for the phone to ring. I'm just sitting there when's my phone going to ring? Where are the people reading those ads?
Right.
So I started reading books. I started reading the Realtor magazine articles. They're really informative. You know, we get here locally, we get the Orlando magazine, we get the Florida magazine, we get the National Realtor magazine. So
Right.
all those magazines are packed with a lot of good ideas and inspiration. Especially if you're trying to go solo and you don't have anyone to lean on, you have to figure out like how to learn what's relevant today, and those magazines are pretty good. But a lot of agents, they read or they hear. I gotta call FSBOs. I gotta do door knocking. When in your first year of closing 20 transactions, what strategies did you use to get business?
A couple strategies. The first thing I was doing is my sphere of influence. I do know a lot of people here in Florida. I've been, living in Florida over 20 years. That was the first thing, is to, go on Facebook and, kind of just catch up with some old friends. It could be somebody you went to school with, or, I used to play baseball in high school, and just kind of catch up on a personal note and, ask them questions like, hey, how you doing?
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Like, kind of catch them off guard and just kind of start a conversation to see, how they're doing, like how their family are doing. And then just asking them, hey, look, by the way, once you ask them those questions, they're going to ask you what, how you're doing. And then that's when you tell them, hey, look, I just got my real estate license a couple months ago, and, I'm kind of struggling here, but, my goal is to help, XYZ amount of families, for the rest of this year. Is there anybody that, that I can help? And if you start asking those questions, maybe to 10 people a day, you will get eventually a yes. So
and people want to support their friends. Like you're calling your friends and they want to see you succeed. And you touched on something, you kind of like glossed over it, but you said, I want to help XYZ families. So just the fact that you have that in your mind, that means you've set a goal. So that, I think, speaks to the importance of setting a goal of what's your first year going to look like, and actually taking the steps to accomplish that goal. Because they say, like, if you have no goals, you have no destination. It's easy to get there. Like, you get nowhere because you have no goal, you have no direction. So I also remember when we would do some of those office meetings, and we would be talking, and you'd be picking my brain about stuff, and we would talk about things, and then like within a day or two, I'd see you out there implementing. I saw you all over social media. You were in all of these like rental groups and taking action. So many people, it's one thing to ask good questions, but what really causes you to have success is by implementation and speed of implementation, and actually taking action on the tips and advice that you get from top producers. So I remember you were doing a lot in the rental sites. How did that like end up paying off? And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's a funny story because my very first transaction was a rental at Remax, and it was a walk-in. Somebody walked in the office, and I was working, late that day, and they wanted to see a rental downtown. So I set up the appointment, and they ended up getting a rental, and I think it was like maybe a $500 paycheck, very small. But I actually 2 years, 2 years after doing the transaction, I still followed up with them. I put them in my database, and then I just kept following them every once in a while. And that same customer actually called me, not too long ago, and I actually just sold them a piece of land in St. Cloud. Mm-hmm. So you never know, that first person could really grow your business. Could refer you to other friends and families, and that one rental turned into another transaction, and it could be turning into more transactions later on. So it's all about the relationship.
Right. So I've been in real estate 17 years, and I can tell you that this person did this second transaction with you, and over the course of your real estate career, they might do another 3 or 4 with you in the future. Yeah. So, every contact that you make and every relationship that you make with people out there, it's great to build relationships, because even if that person never buys anything from you, they'll remember you as a resource, and they might have a family member or someone that they would recommend to you. And you touched on 2 really important things: having a CRM by
Yeah.
inputting that person into your CRM, your consumer relationship manager, and staying in touch with them. That's the other thing. Like, it's one thing to have a real estate conversation and then forget their number, forget their name, and never have that conversation again. Like, that has a little bit of value. But to stay in touch with that person, you're just going to keep adding to the prospects of doing business with that person over and over if you have a system for doing that. So a lot of new agents, they don't even know what a CRM is, never mind like actually using it. And so that's awesome that you've been doing that.
Yep.
Another question I wanted to ask you was, agents sometimes when they're in the school and they're talking to other people who are getting their license, or people who have had their license, or people that used to sell real estate but got out of it for a year, like they're in their ear about splits, and like just talking to them about splits and get 100% and don't let anybody take your money and all this kind of stuff. What kind of advice do you have for new agents who are thinking about that question before they go out there and find their real estate broker?
Yeah, so my advice to them is, once you get your real estate license, do not worry about the money first. If your mindset is, thinking about the money right away, you're going to struggle because, it's not a corporate job or a 9-to-5 job. It's actually your business. Any small business owner, you got to start from the ground up. So, that 100% sounds good. Don't get me wrong, but you got to really, reach out, talk to a broker that's actually going to provide you the tools, the database, the CRMs, the coaching, and then later on, you're gonna realize all that training that you had and all that, getting all the tools that you need to build your pipeline, to build your business. That's going to pay off at the end. So I think that's a good advice for new agents is don't think about the money. Don't think about the short-term, paycheck. If you really want
opportunities,
the opportunities and the relationships and getting in front of people is going to get you more transactions.
You mentioned something that I haven't really thought of, because if someone's coming from like a corporate world and they're used to like, when they're going for a new job, their focus is on like, how much am I making per hour, or how much am I making per week? So when you start real estate, your mind is on like this numerical number. Whoever gives me the biggest number is the most attractive. Like when you're looking for an hourly job, someone offers you $15 an hour, someone else offers you 20, it's a no-brainer. But in real estate, that number can be misleading, because someone can offer you 100%, but you have zero opportunities there. So 100% of zero is zero. And then there's someone else who offers you a different split, but like they're flooding your inbox or your text messages or your CRM with leads and opportunities and experience. And that's that's where you get the closings from. And what's most important is building relationships long-term, staying in touch with those people, and having closings. Like, everyone is in real estate to help people and also to get paid for the work that they're doing. So with no opportunities, you wear that 100% with a badge of honor. But if you have new closings, you can't do anything with that 100% badge. So I'm glad you touched on that. And so obviously, when you get your license, you're fresh out of school. The first thing you do when you get licensed is look for a broker, right? So how did you handle that? And I know obviously you're with EXP, and this isn't an EXP commercial, but you ended up joining EXP. So what was your thought process through that whole thing, and why are you where you are now?
Yeah, so actually, when I first heard about the brokerage, I saw some agents like in California, and people that I follow like Chasten J. Miles, Brian Casella, they're at EXP as well. I started doing my own research on the model and watching the videos myself, and it was very interesting. I didn't understand what it was about, but it was very interesting. And then there was a big shift a couple of years ago with top producing agents going over there, so that made me do even more research. And I was like, well, if these agents are, top producing agents, top, they're brokers, top teams, then, there might be something, opportunity there that's going on. So like, I did more and more research and I went to an event. It wasn't an EXP event. It was just like a coaching event. And, I met, that's where I met my sponsor. And, we were just catching up and, I was like, hey, I really don't have anything to lose. Let's go for it. Worst case scenario, I could go back to my old brokerage and, I made the move and it's been the best move I've ever made, so far. So
yeah. You moved over before I did, so that was cool. But I was thinking about it and on the fence for a couple of years before I finally moved over, and 100% no regrets there. I know you have some tips that you want to share. You came up with your top 8 tips for agents who just got licensed. So if you would share those tips with us. And this should be good. So if you're watching, you're new, you might want to take some notes.
Yes, sir. All right. So I'm going to start off with my number one. I do believe the number one thing that you need to know is your why. Every agent needs to know why they're in the business. Why are you doing this? For me, my why is my daughter. I do believe if my daughter was not here, I may not still have my real estate license. Usually it's like a human being, so something that really means, something to you. And what's better than, my little, 1-year-old daughter walking around. I see her every day and that's what motivates me to push more and provide, make sure I'm providing, for my family. So that really motivates me every day to do better. So you have to write it down. It's one thing you say it, but it's very important to write down and have it around your desk or your office, because when you see that, whatever it is, whatever your why is, you're going to be like, you know what, I got to get to work. I got to do this. Like, I don't wake up in the morning every day feeling like I want to, make some calls at work, but I know that I have to provide, and I know that I'm, I have goals that I need to reach.
Right.
And if I don't take action, I'm not gonna, reach that goal.
Right.
So I do believe that the knowing your why is very important. So
sweet.
Yeah. And then another thing, number 2, is building relationships. Relationships over transactions. Getting in front of people. You got to make sure every person that you get in front of, you have to make some kind of connection and communication. Make sure you put them on your database. Follow up with them. Don't just call them one time. Make sure you're following up with them and asking them questions. And it's all about the relationship. Like like Ricky Carew says, relationships over transactions. I do believe in that a lot. Because, like we were talking about earlier, that one relationship could turn into several transactions. And I've already seen that in a short period of time. So building relationships is very important. Also, goal setting. A lot of agents do not really set goals. The reason why I did 20 transactions was because I set a goal. The goal that I set last year was 30. I didn't reach 30. But I did 20. I didn't even think I was going to do 20. So realistically, your goal should be something that's, somewhat achievable, but it's got to be higher. But it has to be realistic as well, too. So everybody has a different goal. So if you're not writing your goals, you're not going to really know what your daily tasks look like, per day.
Right. It has to be uncomfortable. It has to make you work for it.
Correct. Yes. Being uncomfortable, like, right now, I'm uncomfortable right now on camera, but I know that being uncomfortable is gonna take me to the next step. And fear. Don't be afraid of fear. There's been many times where I've been afraid to pick up the phone. I used to cold call. I didn't like it at first, but then I actually, because I was doing the cold calls a day, my conversations started getting better. So do not be afraid of to fail, because any successful person in the industry, or really any industry, has failed several times. You know, like Elon Musk. You know how many times that guy has failed.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
It's a fear.
You
A friend
know?
told me fear is fake events appearing real.
So yeah, so don't be afraid of failure. Another one I got is partnering up with other agents. So now more than ever, I do believe that we all, us realtors, have to, you know, become like friends, especially with a low inventory market right now. You know, you could reach out to agents, partner up with agents, and learn from them as well if you get caught up with some, you know, some situation. And you could also ask them, you know, you have any coming soon listings in this area? You know, I have a buyer that's already pre-qualified. And it's all about like networking. When you partner up with, you know, agents, they're going to help you, you know, they're going to help you succeed and maybe have a listing for you for your buyer. So I think that's
be pleasant to work with is one that Todd mentioned in our last episode together. Be pleasant to work with, and that, you know, don't be adversarial, and you'll just make friends that way. So that's really important. You know, you want to be able to call an agent that's got a hot listing and have had a relationship with that person that was a good one, and not, you know, one that where they say, man, I don't never want to work with that guy again.
Right. And then I have another one. Use technology to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, technology, the up and coming agent is going to be the one that takes advantage of the technology. Right now, more than ever, because of COVID, we live in this virtual reality world. You know, I'm not used to Zooms. Now I am, but before, it's like last year, I wasn't, you know, going on Zooms. So like now more than ever, learning the technology that we have is very important. You know, social media is taking over the world now. So right. Take advantage of the tools, the free tools. You got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. That's free. All that is free. And there's a lot of people you can reach out.
YouTube's the #1 search engine in the world, right? And it's free. You can post videos on there. You can use it for so many things.
Right.
And check out our YouTube channels just if you want to get some ideas as an agent.
Yes, absolutely.
What else do you have?
Prospecting. Prospecting is a must. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone. I do believe for new agents, they should prospect at least 4 to 5 days. And I would say, you know, 2 to 3 hours. If you could prospect, you know, 4 to 5 days, it will lead up to transactions.
What do you mean by prospecting? Because I think it means different things to some people.
Yeah, so prospecting is basically, you know, just reaching out to whoever. It could be your sphere of influence. It could be leads that, you know, your broker is providing. It could be going on social media. Just pick up the phone, go through your list of friends that you have. You know, social media is another way. Doing video. Doing Zooms, you know, you could do Zooms, role playing. You know, you could be role playing with other agents as well, or
call hot leads, cold leads, call busy agents that you know and say, do you have any leads that you have that you don't, you know, that you need help calling and getting through? So like you said,
Facebook groups, another one, Facebook groups. There's a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of opportunities, you know, there too. You know, there's some you could actually get referrals on some of those Facebook groups. You know, there's people asking for help. There's literally buyers and sellers. Hey, who's the agent that knows this market? You know, so I think Facebook groups are another one too. I feel like. So so another thing too is your mindset. I feel like you really have to have the right mindset in this business. It all starts like right here. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be able to do those daily tasks that you're supposed to do. I think mindset is really everything. Your mind is very powerful. You control your own mind, and you know, when you have the right mindset, you feel more confident out there when you're out in the field. like you tend to kind of how you say, you tend to resolve like the issues, any situation. Like we're basically like problem solvers. Our job is to solve the problem of who we're working with.
If you're a person of faith like me, when you're facing something challenging, whether it's a difficult conversation, a difficult customer, a difficult transaction, things are always easier when you enter those after prayer,
Right.
prayer about it.
Correct.
Another saying is a famous saying is, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're probably right. So if you think you can't do something or you're going to fail, you're probably right. So definitely have a positive mindset. What's the next one on the list?
The next one on the list is know your market. Definitely know your market. Right now, like what's working for me is new construction. There is a lot of opportunity there, especially with the way the market is. It's a hot seller's market. You could face 10 offers, 15 offers. Everybody's going over asking right now. So like you could, if you're working with a buyer, you could kind of point them out. Hey, look, I know you're looking in this area. I know a couple of new construction homes where, you don't have to worry about multiple offer situations. You don't have to, worry about, the inspection, like maybe something in the report might come out. There's opportunity there. That's how I've been growing my business on the buyer side, is new construction.
Like you said, you network with agents to say, hey, do you have any listings coming up soon? But builders always have stuff coming up soon.
Correct.
So, that's a surefire one. That's a good one. And thankfully we live in Florida where there's new construction on every corner. So that's awesome. What number are you on? I lost count.
I'm on, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on number 7. I'm going on number 7. So my number 7 is set a schedule. I do believe that every agent needs to set up a set schedule. Perfect example, if you're a 9-to-5 job, if agents were to treat, real estate as a 9-to-5, like not just wake up whenever you feel like it, you're going to get more done. You have to set a schedule. If you don't set a schedule, you might be wasting a lot of time, where you could pick up the phone and prospect, like what I try to
day. Yeah, I would add to that or include with that one, it's all the same to have your days planned out. A lot of times for me, once the day gets started, it's chaos. So like I have to have a plan in advance when it's quiet, whether it's early in the morning or at the end of the day, just plan out the day, write down what you want to accomplish in that day and order them in priority. Because once the day gets started, it's sometimes for me, it's hard to just stop and brainstorm and think because the phone's blowing up and I'm driving from here to there. So it's harder to focus on what's not in front of you once the day gets started. So that's good.
Right. And then my last one's going to be to never give up. I think a lot of agents give up too early in the business. That first transaction is always going to be your hardest transaction. But once you start seeing what the opportunities that you have that you're getting, you're going to be able to realize that, your 9-to-5 job, is not paying you enough. So never give up. Like, I see that in a lot of agents, they think that they're going to get a check next week or next month. You got to realize that, when you have a contract, an executed contract, it takes, 30 to 45 days. So even if you have a contract, there's a lot of things that could happen during the process there.
That's first base, right? Getting under contract is first base. There's still all kinds of speed bumps and hurdles that you have to overcome.
Correct. So like that's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to grow, is to go through those transactions. Every agent has failed or somebody has backed out of contracts. So that will happen, but don't worry about it. Just try to learn from what happened in that transaction, that you could take, for the next one. So you're always going to be learning in real estate. Don't give up, you know, it happens. Stuff happens like that, but I learned from it. I mean, that just happened to I just closed one. It took 3 months, but that one was like a difficult one. But I ended up.
Be patient. Yeah. Like, you know, you were able to do 20 transactions in your first full year of real estate. That's not the case for everybody, but it'll come. You know, there's agents out there who they do 3 or 4 transactions a year. Some agents don't want to do 20. You know, some because of their lifestyle, maybe they have retirement income or something else. They're totally content with 5 or 6 or 10 transactions a year. But you know, it always looks easier than it actually is. But be patient, and it's an amazing career. I've been at it for 17 years, and so if anyone has questions about any of these things, or they want like some advice, how can they reach you, Danny?
They can reach me. My contact information is, I'll give you my number, 407-782-4013. I am the team leader of the Empire team at eXp Realty. I do have a Facebook business page. Just type in Empire team. I'll be happy to help you wherever you're at. It doesn't matter what brokerage, you know, me and Dan or anybody, you know, any of my team members, you know, that may be able to help you out as well. So I'm your resource here. I love to help agents. That's the reason why I created a team, is to try to help that number go up, that 85%. You know, I want to help the failure rate in real estate. So I do see the struggles. I've struggled before, but you know, I'm here to help you whatever you need. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And anyone watching this, you can submit if you're struggling with anything. You can submit questions here to the show, Agents Who Win, to Todd, myself. We'd all love to hear from you. We'd all be happy to help you all with any struggles that you're dealing with. So, Danny, we have work to get to today before the weekend.
That's right.
So I hope you have an amazing weekend. I want to thank you for being on the show with us. And look forward to working with you some more here in the future. And I appreciate it. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Yep. And to everyone watching, hope you all have an amazing weekend as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, man.
All right.
Let's keep it moving.
That's right. Take care, everybody.
All right.